All right, welcome everybody. Chapter 5 here, time value of money. So this is a very important concept to understand in finance, time value of money. It's a very important concept to understand in finance because it's very important for you guys to understand the concept that a dollar today is worth much more than a dollar tomorrow. All right, so let's take finance out of the equation here and just let's talk basic terms. If you had a dollar 10 years from today, the amount of goods you were able to purchase then, I can guarantee you now, you will not be able to purchase the same amount of goods or same amount of service. Therefore, it's simple to say, it's very easy to say a dollar today is worth much more than a dollar tomorrow. And that all ties in the time value of money. Okay, so when we're talking about money, the amount of money is not the only thing that matters. Okay, what also matters is the timing of when you should receive or when you should pay that sum of money. Okay, let's give some example to make it more concrete so you guys can understand exactly what I'm talking about. And once I give you these examples, you'll quickly understand that present value, future value, and the time value of money is one of the most important, is the foundation of a lot of formulas and a lot of concept in finance. Okay, so let's say we live in a world where if you put your money in the bank, you will receive 10% risk-free interest, okay, year over year. This is fairly high historically, but for the sake of what I'm trying to explain to you guys, we'll use 10% as the amount of interest that you will receive if you put your money in an account, investment account, stock, bonds, CD, whatever it is, you're getting 10% on a yearly basis. Okay, so the three options that we will have here for this example, let's say you have the option number one, which is I can give you $100 now, right? Option number two is I can give you a year from now, I can give you $109, right? Let's say that you don't have to pay any bills right now, you don't have any investments, so you can keep that money, put in an investment account, and I'll tell you, you have option number one, I can give you $100 now. Option number two, I'll give you $109 a year from now. Option number three, 2 years from now, right, I will give you $120. Now, without even understanding time value of money, somebody will say, well, you know what, I'll wait 2 years and I'll get $120. Now, the big question is in this example, which option to pick? Which option is the best, right? Which option is the best? All right, so for that, we'll have to apply the time value of money formula to find out exactly which option you should pick. All right, and for that, there's a formula that is crucial for us to be able to compute and find the answer to our question. And it's this future value, right? Because we're trying to compute the future value to see year one if it's best to pick that amount or something else. Year two, if it's best to pick 120 or what the amount should really be. Future value equals to present value times 1 plus your interest rate to the n power. Okay, 1 plus interest rate to the n power. Now let's compute it. Let's see exactly which option is the best. Which option is the best? Now, you can take $100 today, right? Or let's see how much, if you take that $100 today, let's see how much it'll grow based on that 10% you receive on a yearly basis in that investment account. How much will it be worth in 1 year from now? Well, the formula says you take $100, which is your present value, right? How do we know it's present value? Because now you receive that money now, right now in the present. So it's $100, right? Present value times 1 plus your 10%. To the n power, right? In 1 year, your n will be 1. Okay, so if you compute that, it gives you $110. So see, Right there, if you were to take that money today, if you were to take that money right now, providing that we are living the perfect world where you can get 10% interest yearly, you're you're better off by taking the money now. You're better off by $1, right? Right? What's the difference between this and that? You're better off by $1. So right there, I'm going for option one all day. If I can find an investment account to park that money in for 10%. Let's look at what that money will grow to in 2 years from now, right? In 2 years from now. Remember in the beginning, we saw $120 and we jumped conclusion. We said, hey, I'd rather wait for 2 years and receive $120. Well, let's compute. Let's say that I say to myself, I'll take the money now. How much money would I make in 2 years? Well, the formula says it's $100 present value, right? $100 times 1 plus 10% to the n power, which is 2 years, right? Which is 2 years. If you compute that, it gives you $121. Right there again, you're better off by taking the money today because you're better off by $1. Therefore, which one is really the best option based on the time value of money and based on this formula, which is the future value? Based on this formula, the best option is option number 1 because I'll take the money today, right? Best option is option number 1 because I'll take the money today. I'll invest it at 10%. In 1 year, I'll be better off by $1. In 2 years, I'll be better off by another $1. Therefore, it's best to use option number 1. All right. So now we've found how to calculate the future value. We realize that at 10%, we'll take $100 today as opposed to taking $109 a year from now, or $200 or $120 2 years from now. What about if it were the other way around? What about if I was standing 2 years from now, right? Or I knew that in 2 years I could have had $120, or I know in 2 years I will need to purchase something that costs $100, and I know that I can park some money in an account that pays me 10%. How much money do I have to put in the bank today in order to be able to purchase what I'm trying to purchase 2 years from now? Right? How much money I have to put in the account today, right? This is the present value. I'm trying to compute the present value. Well, if the formula for future value is present value times 1 plus I, the interest rate, to the n power, right? We can easily derive that formula to find what the present value will be, right? I'll use different colors here to show you guys what, I don't know what that was, but we'll get rid of it. Okay, so what is the formula? If we rearrange that formula that's up here for future value, we can easily derive for the present value. And it says simply the present value equals to the future value over 1 plus I to the n power. Okay, so let's say that you're trying to purchase something 2 years from now. You know that it's $120. How much money should you put in the bank today to be able to purchase that piece of equipment or pay for whatever it is 2 years from now that will cost you $120? Well, it's simple. You're trying to find the present value, and that formula tells you that present value, how much money should you put in the bank today, is simply $121. Sorry, it's $121. That's really the amount we're trying to find. Whoops. So let me repeat what my example to make sure that we're on the same page. I'm saying that I know that something will cost me $121 2 years from now. I'm trying to find out if I have a bank or if I have an investment that will pay me 10%. How much money do I have to put in the bank today so that in 2 years I can have $121 so that I can purchase whatever I'm trying to purchase? Well, we're trying to find the present value. How much money should I put in the bank today? That's the present value. So simply, it's $121 over 1 plus 10% to the second power for 2 years. That will give you $100 all day, every day. I can bet anything on that. If you do the math, that's exactly the amount of money that you will find. All right, so let's repeat everything to make sure that we're on the same page, and I'll show you exactly the different variation when it comes to the number of period, or in other words, that n, which you have to raise the power 2 in order to figure out the present value or the future value. First of all, let's rewrite all the formulas that we've looked at right now, and I'll tell you how to make sure you catch the right compounding period. So we said that the formula for the present value is simply the future value over 1 plus r to the n power. We said that we can derive that easily. The future value is simply the present value times 1 plus I to the n power. Not 2, but n. Okay, r or I all means the same depending on which book you're using or which material you're using. I and R are both used for interest. Now, n, this n here. Remember in my example, I said that your 10% will be paid annually. So if you're receiving payments annually on an investment, really, you're getting paid once, right? If you're getting paid once, then your n is times 1. If you're getting paid on that investment semi-annually means that you're getting paid every 6 months. Every 6 months, therefore you're getting paid twice, right? If you're getting paid quarterly, then you're getting paid 4 times during the year. It's simply n times 4, right? In my example about the $100 now, the 109 1 year from now, and the $120 2 years from now, if my payments was annually 10% annually, then it was n times 1. So 2 years, 1 year or 2 years, where simply your n was 1 times 1 or 2 times 1. That's why we use the number of years as your n. But if I was getting paid semi-annually, it would simply be for 2 years, it'll be 2 times 2, then my n would be 4. Quarterly, it would be 2 years times 4, then my n would be 8. Simple as that. Perfect. Okay, so this is something to be very mindful of, and we'll do some example in the next video to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Well, I'll tell you right now, slide number 33, chapter 5, table 5.4 is probably something that I would add to my formula sheet. Remember that I said that before. I don't want you guys to memorize any formula, although these two formulas are very easy to remember. One derives from the other. But the goal here is to have you guys know exactly how to utilize the formula as opposed to memorizing it. So I'm calling it right now, slide 33. Chapter 5, table 5.4. You can copy this whole table on your formula sheet. It'll become very handy on the quiz, the midterm, and the final. That's a gift from me to you. All right. So the next video will give you some examples. We'll go through some problems so that you guys can understand exactly how to compute the different variation based on the wording, how to compute the present value, the future value, and it all ties up to the time value of money, which is a very important factor to understand in finance. All right. Thank you very much.